So Marcus Garvey, that man fight certain things out of the earth, black people. Marcus Garvey say, yo, so why they try to class us as nigga? Nigga. Yeah. He said the only good nigga is a dead nigga. You ever hear something like that? Yo. Right now, I know, so I know, pull up. Stay far from trouble if you can. Embarrassment as small as a mustard seed to make you kill a man. Far from them if you no can. From them Illuminati and them genocide plan. You stay far from them if you no can. Prepare and be ready for them chemical weapon. You stay far from them if you no can. Brooklyn, be wise and overstand. Babylon come and tell me about carry come. Judgment go take them in at this millennium. Babylon now hope the people them for minimum. And I tell me say them increase minimum. If they increase the minimum and turn it have done. Then me ask them one to the maximum. Open in the mouth, speak up with no tongue. That is a free speech, it's not freedom. Tell Babylon say that the fuck if it done. You want more money with Friday evening. Some more fire. Some more fire. From top. Babylon come and tell me about Jericho. Judgment go take them in at this millennium. Babylon now walk the people them for minimum. And I tell me say them increase minimum. If they increase the minimum and turn it have done. Then me ask them one to the maximum. Open in the mouth, speak up with no tongue. That is a free speech, it's a no freedom. Tell Babylon say that the fuck if it done. You know want more money when Friday evening come. When Easter come, nobody buy them bun. Don't support them when Christmas come. Cause only rich man are alone. Santa Claus come. Fire! All right. Where's the from top again? From top again. Say from top. From top. Oh, amen. Babylon come and tell me about carry come. Judgment go take them in and this millennium. Babylon now walk the people them for minimum. And I tell me say them increase minimum. If they increase the minimum and turn it have done. Then we ask them one to the maximum. Open on the mouth, speak up with no tongue. That is a free speech, it's a no freedom. Tell Babylon say that the fuck if you done. We don't want more money when Friday evening come. When Easter come, nobody buy them bun. Don't support them when Christmas come, cause only rich man are alone. Santa Claus come. Famine all take you when New Year's come. And the mothers and the daughters and the fathers and the son. Them can't even sport, can't even have fun. Them have to put up everything for when the landlord come. When they talk about school fee, everything done. Valentine, don't drink your blood like rum. Labor Day, Ash Wednesday when them leave by your down. Then independent, lock your down. Emancipation Day, and that then turn down. Brooklyn see clear, so slavery not done. So your Marcus Garvey and one be in the job. Indian slaves all. What are they?
Go ahead and do this. Uncle Johnson, that Hutu Hop on Black Power family. What up? This is your brother and Google, now you see R.A.N.M. Once again, you were tuned in to R.A.N.M. RBG TV. We keep it G. Raw and uncut common sense for the common people dealing with the common issues, family, and you already know we trying to seek common solutions, right? So all in together now, family, saying nice, loud, and proud. The method. What's the mantra? What's the motivation? What's the madness? You already know, family, is black love. You know that black love is a cure for the black nation, right? So let's get it. And once again, we are talking on the topic today of exploring generational thoughts. Once again, exploring generational thoughts. Shout out to the family that's in the chat room. We are on live right now on Facebook. If anybody out there that's watching this stream, tell your family we on. If they missed it or whatever, don't fear, don't worry, because you already know it's going to be uploaded on the channel, R.A.N.M. RBG TV. You know we keep it G. So again, exploring generational thoughts. Before we begin, I need everybody to do this on a personal, on an individual note. I just got finished doing this myself. Close your eyes for about 3 seconds or so, 3 to 5 seconds. Take a nice deep breath. Clear out your head, right? Clear whatever, prejudged notions that you have, whatever biases that you have. Just clear your head, family, and let the energy flow naturally. Whatever comes to your mind, Let it hit you, let it resonate, think about it, because that's the whole thing. We're talking about thoughts, you understand? And not for nothing, early in the week, I had asked the question in this, in the group or whatever. I asked the question of, do you think your thoughts from the past have a connection or have an effect on what happens today, right? I got 2 answers, and then both answers were correct. They said, well, it really wasn't a yes or no answer, but nonetheless, the people that responded, they both said yes, they do have a connection. And that's pretty much what I want to discuss today. I have, took a little bit of notes or whatever, broke down on a couple subtopics on how this thing works out or whatever. But nonetheless, you'll pretty much get the point. This is just I'm just putting this on the table. This is not an extensive breakdown. This is just something that we can see on a common sense level, so we can go from there. You understand? That's all. You already know. Common sense for the common people. Yada, 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 yada. Now, when we talk about what's going on today, when we look around what's going on today in our society and in our local neighborhoods, where we at, our individual households, etc., 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 you already know everything first starts with a thought. You can't just get up and just make a move without first thinking about it first, whether you're thinking about it consciously or subconsciously. You understand? And if anybody who knows me long enough, you already know how I say it. What you think, you speak. What you speak, you walk. What you walk, you pass on to others. Right? That's the whole format. We got to realize, also, before I even say what I'm about to say now, if you haven't seen the episode I did a couple months back, you can easily go back in the archives. I did an episode called Ancestral Reincarnation. Look for that. Check that out. You're going to see how that resonates with what I'm saying today. All right. When it comes to our thinking and our thoughts, whatever, a lot of people like to think that this is just, since, this is their quote-unquote first time going around on this planet, whatever, their first time being around, seeing things, doing things, YOLO, that whole, that whole bullshit. You only live once, yada, 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 yada. That's false, family. That's false. Because I'm going to say it like this. You already know that energy don't die. You understand? Energy doesn't die. It transfers. It goes from one to the next. Life continues to go on. We don't know about death in the way that we've been taught about death. We think that once something, quote unquote, dies on the physical, that's it. Nah.
You want me to take you home?
That's not how it goes, family. Energy goes on from one to the next, generation to generation to the generation. Some of these thoughts that we're thinking as of today in our current times here in 2016, these are some of the same thoughts that a lot of us had way back when. Or, I say it like this too, a lot of the thoughts that we're thinking of today, maybe something down the line, or somewhere down your memory bank, whatever, you look back and you said, I want to change shit up. So you switched up the pattern, you switched up the format, and now you got basically your genetic line going to the beat of your drum now, all based on the way you thought. Case in point, on an educational level, right? What's one of the biggest things that all of our parents taught us way back when? And you can't sit here and lie and say that you didn't get this lesson, because we all got it. One of the biggest lessons dealing with education, right? Go to school, get good grades, so you can get a good job. Sound familiar? These are lessons that have been passed on all the way down from you, back from your parents, back to their parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, so on and 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 so on. Little do we know on a subconscious level, that type of teaching, that type of energy transfer, nonetheless, it's breeding, I want to say, racial laziness, if you will. I know that might be a little bit harsh to hear, but nonetheless, it's the reality. It's breeding racial laziness in the sense of, on an educational level, on a thinking level. It makes you want to not put you and yours out on a pedestal where it needs to be. You just want to blend in and go with the status quo. That's a negative. These are the things that we've been taught. Like I said, go to school, get good grades, go so you can go to college and get a good job. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're still at the mercy of other people by way of thought. Just by way of thought. And we set ourselves up like that just by way of thought. So when we speak it to our children, when we speak it to our families, this, that, and third, we're literally breeding that concept in our heads over and over and over again. Be submissive to the next. Be at the mercy of the next. All by way of thought. On a religious level, you already know how much of that's the issue, family. We go back and forth over the silliest shit, but that's not my issue for bringing that up. On a religious level, thinking with thought, right? You already know, based on the evidence of the society, we're taught to be passive. We're taught to be accepting to the bullshit. You understand? be all around embracing and this, that, and the third. Once again, that breeds a sense of racial laziness by way of thought. Now, you have whatever connection that you have to the Creator, no problem. You feel free to exercise it any way you see fit. It is what it is. But I will say it like this: even the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, even he told us, right? If you're gonna worship, you're gonna worship your God. You're gonna see your God, whatever. Worship it in the eyes of Ethiopia. We're gonna worship it in the eyes of Ethiopia. We're gonna worship in the eyes of the African, eyes of the black man, woman, and child. You understand? Yeah. Now again, go ahead, say what you want to say. Yeah, the man was a Christian, yada 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 yada. But at the end of the day, there's no way in hell you can show me where the white system of Christianity was, I guess you could say, being taught by way of Mr. Garvey within the UNIA. You can't say that. You can't say that. At the end of the day, one, he already put it on the table that it was stories before the people. Two, and I think I should have said this first, God, by word of Mr. Garvey, is universal intelligence. Once again, circling right around back to thoughts. We're exploring generational thoughts, family. You understand? So again, I digress. Whatever concept or version that you choose to engage in your God worship or whatever, worship in the eyes of Ethiopia, worship in the eyes of the black man, woman, and child. Worship it in something that resonates within you, something that resembles you. Because if it does not, at the end of the day, once again, you are submitting your mind to the will of somebody else's concept, to the will of somebody else's images. That way, in reality, in real-time form, just like it happens on a daily basis, when you see these people, when you see white folks, you're going to ultimately resemble, you're going to go back into that God concept, and that's what you're going to be seeing when you see these people. You're going to see God on the earth. We're exploring generational thoughts, man. What we've been passing down to one another subconsciously, because we don't even realize we're doing this thing. That's the funny part about it. We don't even realize we're passing these things on. This is just coming out by way of tradition. You was taught, Big Mama taught you, so on and 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 so on, all the way back. You understand? Again, at one point in time, at some point in time, I should say, it's going to come one person within that lineage, one person within that family bloodline that's going to have some sort of thought to say, I've got to change some things up. I got to change the way how we think. And not for nothing, that's the age that we're in right now. There's a lot of family dynamics being, I guess you could say, shaken up. Certain conversations are being held in the household, and they need to be had. These conversations need to be had, because at the end of the day, reality is reality. You can't run from reality. Yeah, I know whatever the feel good makes you feel good. Whatever words you hear, whatever lies that you've been believing all this time, whether it's dealing with the education, dealing with the religion, whatever. At the end of the day, it's a feel good, and it's a false feel good. So now we're in the times we're switching shit up. We've explored generational thoughts. Some of us, those of us in this time right now, those of us that are waking up, peace and black power to that, and continue to do so, continue to strive. We're changing the dynamics. Sometimes it can be a little rough, it can be a little rocky, whatever, dealing with the family. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, it's all for a good benefit. Whether they see it now, they'll see the result later on down the line. They'll understand. So you got to just have patience and, you know what I'm saying, just work with them nonetheless. Bear with the family. On the economy level, on the economic level, right? When you look down the line, the average black family today, broken, together, whole unit, man, woman, and child, or man and child, woman and child, whatever, however you want to look at the joint, right? When you look at it, we've been passing on debt. We've been passing on poverty from generation to generation. Once again, if you go back to that whole my fault, I lost the live stream, but don't worry. If you go back to what I said in the education, right in the beginning, dealing with the education, we're taught to like I said, go to school, get good grades, so we can just get a job and work for somebody else and build somebody else up, versus teaching each other how to create businesses, create an infrastructure for ourselves. That way we can employ ourselves, sustain ourselves for ourselves with no issue, no problem, no middleman nonetheless. No, that's not what we do. Once again, we pass on the legacy of racial laziness by way of thought. If we were to teach these certain things, if we were to teach these things like how to create a job, how to create a business, for the people, for the hood, for the the community nonetheless. You know what we can do? we can do something what we lacked for the longest time, which is sustain ourselves. We've been dependent on each other for the longest time, and we've gotten comfortable in that. And that's the bad part about it right there. We've gotten comfortable in our submissiveness. We think it's actually okay. It's the thing to do. No, again, that's racial laziness. Racial laziness, family. I know that may not be a word in your Oxford dictionary, but it's a reality. And every day that you can, that you just walk outside, all you got to do is see. It's a reality, hands down. It is a reality. Racial laziness is a big time thing, and we need to heal that. This is why I'm having the discussions on generational thoughts. These are the things that we've been thinking through the line for the longest time. You know what I'm saying? These thoughts of racial laziness, of laziness in general, dealing with our people, whatever, have been going down the line. We've been passing them down the line generation to generation and don't even realize it. Again, it's subconscious. We got to switch that up in these times that we're in. It's not hard. All you got to do is just think. Just think. All you got to do is think. On a social level, sociology or whatever, right? Peace to the live stream family. I don't know what happened. The live link, it dropped, but nonetheless, don't worry. Like I said, this is why it's being recorded, so it can be up on YouTube. Just look for it there. Like I said, dealing with the society, sociality level, whatever, right? We're basically taught to be, second-class citizens. We've been taught that all our lives, nonetheless. Once again, going back to even on an education level. I know what I was talking about, dealing with getting a good job or whatever, but on an education level, dealing with the history and all that other shit that we've been being taught all this time, is all lies. You already know this enough for yourself. All you have to do is do the research. Once you take the time and make the time to study yourself for yourself, to sustain yourself, you will see that everything that we've been taught in public school system, everything that we've been taught in the charter school system, everything that we've been taught in the private school system has been lies. And those lies are nonetheless for the benefit of other people. Again, to one, get your mind submissive. Once your mind is submissive, you're at the mercy and at the beck and call of these people, whoever, wherever, at any time of day. It's just that simple. So once again, we've been taught to be second-class citizens, and we've accepted. It's cool. You know how many times on a day-to-day basis when I walk down the street, right, no matter where I'm at, and you got a brother walking up or a sister walking one way up the sidewalk. You got white folks coming down. It could be just one white person. I literally see this all day. It could be like three brothers over here, one white person coming out the way. They literally sidestep to let this dude walk down the sidewalk. They get out the way. They drop their heads. Their shoulders relax a little bit. This shit is real. I'm not making this stuff up. All you got to do is go outside and see it for yourself, family. So again, we've been taught to be second-class citizens and embrace it. We think that's our God-given right, to be second-class, to be submissive. Again, these are certain thoughts that have been going on through the family legacy for a long time. This is the time and the era right now where the family getting shaken up right now. This is why we have a little bit of the conflicts that we have. Thoughts are changing. We're getting out of the comfort nonetheless. We're getting out of that racial laziness nonetheless. And it's beautiful. I know it hurts, but it's beautiful because it's needed. It's necessary. Because it all starts with the mind. Once again, what you think, you speak, and what you speak, you walk, and what you walk, you pass on. So if your thoughts are already corrupted from a legacy of racial laziness, just like that, if you have that type of thought as your platform, as your beginning, as your base, everything from that point right there will crumble. Everything from that point right there will fail. Everything right there just won't work. It just won't work. Take it to a media level. You already know media is something that's very needed, something that's very vital, because that's communication nonetheless. Media is a tool of communication. It's not just a tool of entertainment. But since entertainment is a priority for a lot of people, let's talk about it. What are you being entertained with? Black exploitation. The minstrel circuit, if you will. We're reliving that right now all over again. These reality shows that everybody loves to watch. I ain't go front. I'll tell it to you. I'll be real with you. Yeah, I watch one or two from time to time, but I study though. I use it to study. I don't, you know what I'm saying? You have people sometimes that watch certain things, try to hear certain things, and try to relive certain things as if that is reality. Not knowing this shit is screenwrite. Not knowing that this is play. Not knowing that this shit is make-believe. Right? But again, because of the racial laziness, all by way of thought. With that racial laziness, you're not going to exercise your cognition to see what's real and see what's what. So with racial laziness, ultimately your third eye is going to be closed, and ultimately if your third eye is closed, the first two is going to be the ones that see everything. And if they see everything, they're going to think that is reality. Remember, this flesh, this body, this is just a shell. The inside, the thought, the universal intelligence, that's what matters the most. And if you ain't got that on the right frequency, you jacked all the way up. So dealing with this media, like I said, dealing with these the reality TV shows and all that shit or whatever. It's the minstrels, it's the Black Minstrel Show all over again. And if you don't know what that was, go back in time, go back in history, and you look that up for yourself. This is the blackface era, the big lip era, you know what I'm saying, the droopy eye era with all the makeup and all that stuff. Mind you, these are white folks doing this shit, right? These are white folks doing. They'll literally paint themselves up or whatever to mock you, ridicule you. You understand? For entertainment. Then slowly it turned around. Then they brought you in. This is still around that same era. They brought you in, replaced the paint, and put a real live black-skinned person, a real live African-descended person on front of the screen to buffoon and coon around the world. And they threw him a couple pennies. They threw him you know what I'm saying, a beer or two or whatever. And then as we go on down the line of entertainment, you can see what we have today. No matter if you're dealing with the big screen or the movies, the small screen of the TV, the speakers of the car system, your radio, when you go on, on your tune, on your by and by or whatever you plugging in on your earphones, whatever, everything that we listen to, everything that we see is all black exploitation. All you have to do is explore your generational thoughts. Go back down the line. You can see what I'm saying for reality, family. But at one point in time, do you say, you know what? Let's switch this shit up. I can be the one to switch it up. We can be the ones to switch it up. And this time, in this era, right here, right now. And then everything from that point on, from you on down the line of progress, nonetheless, it will be a line of progression. Because if you really look at it, family, again, if you explore these generational thoughts, you will see for yourself. If you see for yourself, if you explore these generational thoughts all the way back to our greatness, you will see how far we have fallen down the line. You understand? Versus climbing up. The numbers, quote unquote, may be increasing, but our legacy has gone down. Our livelihood has gone down. All by way of racial laziness, by way of thought. That's pretty much all I really need to say, family. I really didn't I didn't plan on being long on this one. I just wanted to throw those little notes that I had, I jotted down, that I thought it was relevant. Because we need to do this, man. We need to really take that time, take that gut check nonetheless, to really explore. Really learn how to think, man. This is why I always say certain times, man, of the day, man, thinking ain't illegal, living black ain't wrong. All in together now. Yeah, they may be cliches to some or whatever, but it's a reality once you listen to the message, man. Thinking ain't illegal. Living black ain't wrong. And today's discussion title is, once again, Exploring Generational Thoughts. Think back to see where we effed up. Think back to see we messed up, slipped up, slept on. You understand? You have to. It's mandatory. Because if you don't, I swear, I promise you, family, if you do not, you'll continue to get what we've been getting for the longest times. Spinning wheels. A sense of false euphoria, a sense of we really doing something, we ain't doing a goddamn thing. Because we refuse to think. We just choose to act. But what are we really acting on if your thoughts ain't solid? What are you acting on if your thoughts is shit? What are you acting on? Your acts are gonna be just that, shit. You understand? So again, explore your generational thoughts, man. Go back on your own individual family line, man. See what happened. Explore what happened. You understand? See how you can advance the family. Because that's what this whole thing is about. It's about advancing. It's not about tearing down, man. It's not about going in the past to see, or basically it's not going in the past to just talk shit about the L's and the slip-ups and the standard third. It's going back to rectify. It's going back to justify, to do justice, to bring balance. You understand? That's what this whole thing is about. It's not about what we're doing right now. Just tearing down, going at it. That's not what the thought process is about. The thought process is to cut the light on, ding, so we can think. Then we can act properly. That's the whole purpose of exploring generational thoughts. And if you can't get that one, family, maybe then just maybe you're one of the ancestors that came back that just refused to think and have got it stuck within their genetics that non-thinking is the way to go, and my family line just won't cut it. Unfortunately, some family are like that, and we just got to accept it, we got to embrace it, and just move on. We don't got time to bicker and go back and forth with it on some beef. Just, hey, it is what it is, peace, and keep it moving, because at the end of the day, we have a greater goal to focus on, which is all of us, not just one individual. So explore your generational thoughts, man. Even on even dealing with the different organizations and the different so-called movements or whatever. Go explore the thoughts of that. Look back in time and see what happened. Once again, everybody loves to talk about advancing to what we need to do right now. We got to advance, we got to update this, that, and the third. But again, if you do not explore those generational thoughts, if you do not go back and look at the past to see what happened, the good, the bad, the ugly, etc., and then try to say, let's advance and switch it up for the positive, not just to shit on, then what are you going to update? What are you advancing? You're just talking air. You're just burning rubber, spinning wheels. You understand? So again, don't just throw out these beautiful African words. For example, Sankofa. Don't just throw these words out and don't live the meaning. Because if you don't, I promise you, that same bird that's turning back and looking back or whatever might be the same bird that bites your ass, metaphorically speaking. You understand? Focus, family. Center in on this, man, and I promise you, everything from here on will flow. Everything from that point on will flow. All you have to do is think. All you got to do is think. All you got to do is think. Because again, once again, what you think, you speak, and what you speak, you walk, and what you walk, you pass on. This is why another thing is, that's why I always say, black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it. Because again, when you got that thought process working right, it can pass on. It's not hard. Questions, comments, concerns, get at me. Again, explore generational thoughts. Keep it locked to the next one, family. You already know this your brother in Google. Now you see R&M. Been watching R&M RBG TV. We keep it G. Raw and uncut common sense for the common people dealing with the common issues, seeking common solutions. So again, family, once again, and again. What's the method, the motto, mantra, motivation, the madness, and the method? You already know, family, that it is black love, and black love is a cure for the black nation. So let's get it. Keep it locked to the next one, family. Black power. I felt the need to come back. I just got another thought. I felt the need to come back. Again, we exploring generational thoughts, right? Dig this, if you will. Now, notice I did say something to the effect of switching shit up, right? Shout outs to those that's really living this work, really banging this work, family. I see you. You dig? With that being said, I want to say this. The energy that's driving you forward with that work, right? That type of energy, right? Who knows? Go back and down your family line. You never know. You might have been stemmed from a great organizer. I ain't talking about the famous ones. I'm just talking about the ones in your particular family, in your particular bloodline. You never know. You might stem from the stock of an organizer, of a mover, of a groover, of a builder. You never know. Again, a lot of us came back. Again, go back and check my episode that I did, Ancestral Reincarnation. All you got to do is type that in the search bar. It'll pop right up. R&M RBG TV. Ancestral Reincarnation. That shit is real. Again, a lot of us came back on both sides of the coin. A lot of us came back on heads, right? Heads up. In other words, trying to push us forward, trying to advance us, trying to organize us, trying to move us, trying to groove us, trying to build this black platform thing up. You know, dig? A lot of us on the other side, on the flip side of the coin, on the tail side of the coin, came back as hindrance to that cause. You understand? The ones that everybody like to call the coons, the tap dancers, and the assimilators. Again, exploring generational thoughts. It's all about going back down the line. It's all about going back down whatever entity that you're a part of, whatever it's an organization, your own family line, whatever. Go back down the line and see what's what, see who's who, see the real from the fake. So we can take that, study it, think about it, plan on it and not make those mistakes all over again. That's the whole object. That's the whole purpose of my discussion, family. To ensure that we do not make the same mistakes over and over again. That we do not breed the same racial laziness by way of thought over and over again, generation to generation. The people that's doing the things that we doing right now, saying the things that we saying right now, moving the way that we move right now in these times, again, shaking the family up. Again, a new time, a new era, a new everything starts with you. It starts with us. It starts with we right now. Because we took the time to explore those generational thoughts. So now we are now creating a new thought. We're living a new thought. We're speaking a new thought for the generations to follow after us. This is why in the pledge, man, to this beautiful black flag behind me, right, that Mr. Marcus Messiah Garvey gave to us, 1920 August. International Convention, you already know, UNIA, what up? This is why within that pledge it says that I accept for myself and my descendants after me the teachings of universal African nationalism and the promise to instill the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people. That's why he said that. That's why you should recite that every day that you bang this work. That's the platform right there that this whole thing is about. Because again, you explore your generational thoughts and you move forward from there. That's why those words is in that pledge, family. Think about it. It ain't illegal. Living black ain't wrong. I just want to throw that in there real quick, man. It was burning me. I thought I was finished, but I wasn't. So I just want to drop that in there. But in the meantime, between time, keep it locked, keep it G. You already know this is R&M RBG TV. Your brother in Google, now you see R&M. Uncle Jobson up, who to up on Black Power, family. Always remember that black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it.